Hitting 6 at first base, Eric Thames. Batting number 7, the rookie, Keston Hura at second. Batting 7th, the 8th batter is shortstop Tyler Saladino. And pitching and batting night is right-hander Zach Davies. Well, Danny Graves, you wonder what kind of carryover a team will have after last night's tremendously uplifting win. When they thought they had it in the bag, Saladino hits a grand slam, and it takes a second 2-run home run by Suarez to win it.
Yeah, Suarez stepped up huge last night, and I've always said that momentum is only as good as your next day starter. Tanner Roark is a perfect candidate to be that next day starter that goes out and can dominate.
Well, the Reds are facing a right-hander having an excellent year in Zach Davies. He's 8-2, making his 21st start with an ERA of 2.79. He's 3-3 lifetime against the Redlegs. Our first pitch presented by Belterra Park, Cincinnati on Kellogg Avenue off of I-275. And here's Nick Senzel, who had 2 hits last night. The first pitch is taken for a strike, and this game is underway. No balls and 1 strike as Davies comes back, and it's fouled out of play. 75 degrees is our game time temperature. We understand back home in Southwest Ohio, getting much the same type of weather there the last couple of days as we have enjoyed here in this great Wisconsin city, with more to come tomorrow for the afternoon windup. Now the strike 2 pitch, and it sails off the outside edge for a ball. Davies, 6 feet, 165-pounder. Not a big guy by anybody's measuring stick. Born in the state of Washington, makes his home in Gilbert, Arizona, as Senzel grounds it foul off third base. Davies turns his back to the plate. Now turns back in toward the plate as Senzel settles back in, trying to improve upon a .276 batting average. Now the wind up and on to the plate, and that's a breaking ball down and outside, 2-2. Their inner defense has Thames at first, Hura at second, at third Moustakas, at short Saladino, and an outfield left to right of Braun, Kane, and Yelich. Grandal behind the plate, the pitch. And now a 3-2 count. You got 2 guys pitching tonight that won't often walk a whole lot of people. 35 of them in Davies' case in 109 2/3 innings. But he's run the string out against Senzel. And an especially long look in, so much so that Senzel calls timeout. The outfield playing the rookie out of the University of Tennessee straight away. Now the payoff pitch, and it's a foul back. And give Nick Senzel a lot of credit. He is pretty much handling everything that Zach Davies throws up there and continues to foul off good pitches.
And Davies has thrown multiple pitches. He's thrown fastball, he's thrown changeup, he's thrown breaking ball, everything in this first at bat. And this is what you want your leadoff hitter to do, work him.
Here's another foul ball. This one down the right field line. So it is now an 8-pitch at bat to begin this game. So much so that the plate umpire, Greg Gibson, gets a new supply of baseballs. Jerry Davis, the umpire, at first. Brennan Miller at second. Pat Hoberg at third. And the battle continues between Davies and Senzel. Another foul ball. It's now a 9-pitch at bat. I'll tell you, David Bell, Turner Ward got to be salivating over there watching their rookie make Zach Davis bow his back and really have to figure out a way to get this young man out. There's strike 3 call. Surprised he took that pitch.
Yeah, that was a little too close for 2 strikes, but to me, that looked like he was looking for something off speed. That's a fastball that just came back over to the corner of the plate there.
Still in all, a 10-pitch at-bat to begin the game. And with 1 out, here is first baseman Joey Votto, who, like Senzel, had 2 hits last night. Votto 2 for 5 and knocked in a run. Davies turns, checks the whereabouts of his outfield defense. They play Votto's pool side, which is the right side of the infield. And Joey swings and hits one back into deep left field, and that ball is going to short hop the wall. Quick pickup and throw back by Braun, but not in time to keep Joey Votto from ending up at second base with an opposite field two-base hit.
Well, it's something that Joey Votto's done well against Zach Davies, is just collect hit after hit. 10 for 27 going into this game today, and continues to see the ball well coming out of his hand.
I guess when a hitter dominates a pitcher like that, the only hope that the pitcher has is when I have to face him, nobody's on base.
Or hit it at somebody as hard as you want.
Correct. So one out with a chance to score, and here's a guy who last night homered with a man aboard in the 7th inning to make it 4-1, and then after Saladino's grand slam in the 8th put the Brewers up, he did it again with Senzel aboard in the 9th. First pitch is taken for a strike. And after that, and they left the field in the bottom of the 8th, he verbally provided a major pick-me-up for his ball club, yelling in the dugout, "We can come back, get me to the plate." And whatever he said turned out to be magic. That one's fouled out of play. It's 0-2. Fans, it's Bowtie Tuesday with Mike's Car Wash. If the Reds win tonight, you'll save $5 off an ultimate wash tomorrow at all Mike's Car Wash locations. Additionally, Mike will donate $1 for every car wash to the Reds Community Fund. Davies straightens up to the belt and onto the plate, and that one's down and in, a ball. Talking about Greg Gibson being the plate umpire, give Greg a little free pub. If you need insurance or financial services, he's open for business in Ashland, Kentucky. Greg Gibson's insurance and financial services. He's got the folks that can answer all of your questions down in the Ashland area. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Greg might be thinking about a life after baseball.
Well, I'm sure he's got a lot more years to do this behind the plate.
No question about that.
He's been around quite a long time, too.
Yep. 2-2 and holding on Suarez. That one's fouled out of play.
He was definitely one of my favorites when I was playing.
He didn't like me for the longest kind of time.
Is that right?
Oh, no. But whatever differences we had, we've long since settled, and everything's as it should be right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Votto taking the lead at second base, 1 out here, top of the 1st. The pause and the pitch. And it's 3-2. And young Mr. Davies throwing a lot of pitches here early. He is now 3-2 on Suarez. He went 3-2 on Senzel, struck him out, but it took 10 pitches to do it. And now he's gone 3 balls and 2 strikes on Eugenio Suarez, with Yasiel Puig waiting to hit behind him. The pitch. In the air, hit back into right field, hit well. That ball is gone. Opposite field line drive, 2-run home run. He's got a bat full of long balls, does the Reds' third baseman, pounding number 27. And that was one out of the wrong barrel, and the Reds have taken a 2-0 lead.
He just locked in now, these last 3 at-bats. I mean, to work the count to get it 3-2, Zach Davies did make some good pitches there, and even that one down and away, and Suarez, I mean, he's just seeing the ball so well right now.
27 home runs, 66 runs batted in. And the Reds do what they've pretty much been doing all year long, and that's score in the 1st inning. Here's a pitch. And Puig, it's low, ball 1. And it's off the corner outside, ball 2. That home run off the bat of Suarez traveled an estimated 360 feet. Reds homer was powered by NOCO. NOCO start dead batteries. It's a 2-0 count on Puig. And it's a swing and a miss. That home run by Suarez also delivered in the Reds' first runs of the night. The first runs delivered to you by Integrity Express Logistics. A grand slam for all of your freight plays. Visit IELfreight.com. 3 balls and 1 strike, and it's pretty obvious that Zach Davies having problems getting into a good rhythm. So far, the Reds have been able to take advantage of it. There's ball 4.
And it's safe to say that even though Nick Senzel struck out, you mentioned the 10-pitch at-bat. That made Zach Davies work a little harder, and it gave the Reds hitters in the dugout a chance to see more pitches out there to see what Davies is featuring today.
You can never underline the importance of what we saw from Nick Senzel enough. So the inning continues for left-handed batting Jesse Winker. Since a strikeout of Senzel, a double by Votto, a 2-run home run by Suarez, and now a 5-pitch walk to Yasiel Puig. Here's Winker. Davies raises the leg and sends it plateward, and that's a ball 1. Swung on and fouled. Straight back. Got a pretty good pitch to hit right there and fouled it off. Runs the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Going into play tonight, the Cubbies with a 1.5-game lead on St. Louis and a 2-game lead on Milwaukee. Pittsburgh 7.5. The Reds 8 games back. The Reds only a half a game behind Pittsburgh in their bid to climb the ladder. That pitch is too much inside. 2-1 now on Winker with 1 out, 2 in, and Puig over at first base. That home run that Suarez hit, only the 12th home run that Davies has given up this season. He doesn't give him many up. And now it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And right now, Zach Davies missing, and not by much. And that's got to be a little bit disconcerting, too. When you're struggling, you get through already a not-so-hot first inning, and you throw pitches that are borderline, and you're not getting the call. And now he's behind a Winker 3-1. And that one is hit high and deep into left center field. Does that have enough on it? It sure does. Another 2-run home run by the Redlegs here in the first. Suarez number 1 and Winker now number 2. And the Reds have a 4-0 lead. Number 14 for Jesse Winker with Puig scoring ahead of him. And the Reds are playing long ball here in the first inning. And now the pitching coach, Chris Hook, makes his way to the mound.
Well, it's clear the approach that the Reds are taking already in this game is to be patient and make Davies work a little bit. He's the type of pitcher that needs you to chase balls out of the strike zone, especially with that changeup. And these guys haven't done that. All 5 batters, of this game have gone at least 3 balls except Joey Votto. He swung at the first pitch that he saw and hit a double. So the rest of the guys, patience, make him get the ball up in the zone.
Whatever Cook had to say, it did not take very long. And so now it'll be Scooter Gennett standing in.
Well, the only thing he could have said is we're running out of baseballs. I've been there.
I'm sure you have.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the first inning. The Reds went into play tonight leading the big leagues in runs scored. And you can add 4 more to that total, which would push it now to 82. 2 more home runs, 30. RBIs, 79, batting average, slugging percentage, on-base percentage, all major league leaders the Reds are in the first inning. 1 ball and 1 strike on Scooter Gennett. The pitch. Fly ball, left center, coming hard, Kane, can't get it, base hit. Scooter takes a wide turn, and he'll stop at first base. Jose Iglesias becomes the seventh man to bat in the inning. 5 in a row have reached. 2 of the 5 have gone deep. And now here's Iglesias, a .281 hitter. And it should be pointed up and reflecting back in the most recent outing by Davies against Cincinnati. First pitch into the taking Jose Iglesias a strike. That performance came back on the 22nd of May here. And in that game, he worked 3 innings, giving up 6 hits and 6 runs. Although that was one of those devastating nights in which the Brewers were able to come back and win that game 11-9. But Davies was roughed up big time. This pitch fouled out of play.
And that was the game that Luis Castillo started, and we both thought, okay, on paper, this looks great.
That's correct. That was it.
But we know how that ended up.
Oh, we certainly do. 0-2 the count on Iglesias. Jeanette with a short lead at first base. Swing and a miss. Went away with a fastball and struck him out. Here's catcher Ryan Lavarnway with 2 down. The first start of the year for Davies was way back on April the 1st at Great American Ballpark when he worked 5 innings. In a game the Brewers won 4-3, did not get a decision in that game, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in the 5 innings he was on the mound, walked 4, struck out 6, so he threw a lot of pitches. In fact, threw 90 pitches in that game in 5 innings. Here's catcher Lavarnway with 2 out. Ball strike. .6'4", 240-pounder, a young man who was released by the Yankees. The Reds signed him the next day when they were badly in need of some veteran presence behind the plate. Swing and a miss after Casale went down with a knee, and that came on the heels of Tucker Barnhart being out for a long time. And speaking of Tucker, he may be back next week. He's going to go out on a rehab assignment beginning on Thursday night. He's telling me in the clubhouse today, I'm going to catch 5 innings Thursday, 7 innings Friday, be off Saturday, and hopefully go the distance a week from Sunday, or next Sunday. Going down to AAA Louisville. Pitch off the plate, a ball. And nobody is more anxious to get back in the lineup than Tucker Barnhart is. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 out, 4 in. Davies' 38th pitch of this first inning. And it's a 2-2 count.
And that's a bad feeling for a starting pitcher when your pitch count is already that high and you haven't even gotten down to the first inning yet.
No kidding. More psychological than anything.
Absolutely, because now you think, oh my gosh, I might only go 4 or 5.
That's
if
right.
that.
2-2 pitch. Line drive left field. That ball's down the line. It's going to go to the corner. Here comes the runner to third, and now J.R. House has opted to let him go. The throw to the plate. He is out a mile. I tell you what, he's made some bad decisions down there this year, and that was another one. The inning is over, but the Reds start big with 4 runs, a pair of 2-run home runs by Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker. It'll be the Brewers' time to bat on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Compassionate, then brutally honest. Scott Sloan, tomorrow morning at 9 on 700 WLW.
Well, Tanner Roark's been given a 4-run lead with which to work before he ever throws a pitch. He'll be facing Lorenzo Cain. I've often abided by something that the late great Jim Simpson said, one of the truly great sports announcers in the history of our country, and he once said the biggest mistake you can make is not correcting one. And I want to correct what I said earlier about the decision made by J.R. House. I had a major brain cramp with a pitcher coming up next, didn't even think about it, and that's the reason why he sent Scooter Gennett to the plate, and the only reason. With 2 outs and the pitcher coming up next, you take your chances. He did. It didn't work. but he made the right decision.
Yeah, and they just made a great relay throw. If that throw is off the line just a little bit, Scooter's safe.
Yep. 1 ball and no strikes on Lorenzo Cain, and now a 2-ball no strike count. Well, the pressure now on Tanner Roark to not go out there and do anything but put a 0 on the board here in the first inning. And he's had problems in the first inning this season. There's a strike call. But I'll tell you what, you spend the season around this guy, and you come to realize what a valuable asset he is to any ball club. He is a throwback to the pitchers of old. He's never happy when he's taken out. He has been verbal about that at times with David Bell this season. And he's just great to have on a ball club. He is 3-2 now on Lorenzo Cain.
I'd take 5 Tanner Roarks.
No question. There's a bouncer right back to Tanner, and he'll flip on to Votto. 1 out.
What's special about Tanner, too, is his game that he had in Colorado that he did not do well at all. He kept going out there, and you would not be able to tell that he'd just given up a bunch of runs. He went out there and competed every pitch until he was taken out.
Going to work now on Christian Yelich, who comes in with an 11-game hitting streak in which he's been batting .429 during the last 11 games. The first pitch, a fastball up. Club Major League leader, 35 bombs. He's knocked in 76 runs. He takes his pitch inside. The count's 2 balls and no strikes. He's a left-hand batter, to be followed by a switch hitter and catcher Yasmani Grandal. That one is in the air to left. Winker moves to his right, and he makes a catch, and they're 2 out. Here's Grandal. $19 home runs and 52 RBIs for this National League All-Star. First pitch is taken for ball 1. Like so many switch hitters, pitch is high for a ball. From the left side is his most proficient side. He's a .262 batter left-handed with 13 of his 19 home runs. Of course, you go up there batting left-handed many more times than you do right-handed. Right now, he's ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. 2 out, bases empty. Grandal now, Moustakas on deck. And there's a strike, 3-1. Here's a soft line drive over the head of Jeanette and into right field. And even though Scooter was playing a shallow right, that ball still had enough air beneath it to clear him and fall in front of Puig. So the inning continues now for Moustakas, another left-handed bat in the Brewer lineup. .26 home runs, 60 RBIs to go with a .268 batting average. Check swing and a strike. Roark a glance over at first, where Grandal hangs out and now delivers, and that pitch is up, a ball. A home run that Suarez hit in the top of the inning ties him with Pittsburgh's Josh Bell for 5th place in the National League. Here's a 1-1, and that's fouled out of play. Moustakas is one now of 3 who have hit 26 home runs. Reyes of San Diego, Max Muncy of the Dodgers, and Moustakas all entering play tonight with 26 home runs. Suarez now with 27. That one is hit well into left center field, chasing Senzel, and the catch made instead by Winker, and the Cincinnati Reds baseball is always live with MLB At Bat. Follow the action with game tracking and video highlights, along with up-to-the-moment stats, standings, breaking news, and more. Download MLB At Bat tonight. It is your #1 app for the Cincinnati Reds. Pitcher against pitcher to begin the second. Tanner Roark, who this season has doubled and homered. He looks at a first pitch strike. Only man who did not bat in the top of the first, and the change, he hacks at it and misses, and the count is 0-2. Davies dealing, had a swing and a miss. He punches out Roark on 3 pitches, and we'll start through the Reds batting order for the second time tonight when he goes to work on Nick Senzel, as we take a look at our Cincinnati Bell trivia question of the night.
Oh, yes.
Text the word vote along with your answer of A, B, or C to 66128 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, $25 Skyline Chili gift card, a $25 Dunkin' Donuts gift card, and a free haircut from Great Clips, brought to you by Cincinnati Bell, connecting what matters. Here's Senzel, and it's a fly ball foul to right. Which member, Danny Graves, of the Reds Hall of Fame participated in the Seattle Pilots spring training camp prior to the Pilots' inaugural season in 1969?
Oh, boy.
Was it A, Leo Cardenas, B, Gordy Coleman, or C, Jim O'Toole? Here's the fly ball into right center. It'll be caught on the run by Keston Hiura. He got off on the crack of the bat and was able to run it down. 2 out.
Well, this is just going to have to be a lucky guess again. You probably know the answer to this one.
No, I don't. I really don't.
I'm going to go
Cardenas A, Coleman B, O'Toole C.
I'm going to go Coleman B.
Gordy Coleman will be your answer.
As of right now.
Okay. 7 innings, 6 innings from now, we'll have to spend a time in reflection and give you a chance, if you so desire, to change that decision. Joey Votto doubled and scored in the first, ball 1. Which member of the Reds Hall of Fame participated in the Seattle Pilots spring training camp prior to the Pilots' inaugural season in 1969? 2-0. Leo Cardenas, Gordy Coleman, Jim O'Toole. Coleman is your answer for the moment.
For the moment.
Votto waiting on the 2-0 pitch with 2 down and the bases empty. And he shoots it foul and out of play.
Not feeling as confident about this one today as I was yesterday.
You're not?
No, not so much. I mean, yesterday was a guess too, but it was I felt okay about it. This one I have zero confidence in it.
I got you covered, Bubba. 3-1. Well, you never know.
You never know.
Your last night, you struck gold like finding a feather in a dark room. Here's a 3-1 and a line drive up the middle. Diving stop by Hiura from his knees. He throws and he got him. Boy, you talk about grand larceny. That was it right there. Leading off the bottom of the second, first pitch a strike. Take that dazzling play away from Hiura and give it to Tyler Saladino, the man who took the hit away from Joey Votto. And now Ryan Braun, who was away yesterday attending the funeral of Tyler Skaggs in Santa Monica, California, a memorial service that attracted a lot of people from all over the country related to the game of baseball. And brought back tonight and immediately put back in the lineup, as you would expect him to be, by manager Craig Counsell. Here's a guy who is never out of the lineup. Here's a pitch, and it's high a ball. And that would be from MLB.com, our good friend Mark Sheldon.
What's up, Skipper?
What do you mean by that?
What did he mean by what?
Yeah, what he just said.
That you just
Here's
said?
a guy who's never.
I'm always ready to play.
I see it. You took the words right out of my mouth. 2-2 the count. Two guys to my left now.
We own Milwaukee.
Makes an old man tired. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Braun strikes out swinging, and that's the first punch out of the night for Tanner Roark, who will now direct his attentions toward left-handed batting first baseman Eric Thames. What's the hot news commodity in the Reds clubhouse today, Mark?
It's pretty quiet today. We know you don't like hearing a lot of updates on this particular fellow, but Alex Wood had a very successful
That's a big update.
Rehab assignment outing for Chattanooga last night. 6 innings, 1 run, and 85 pitches, which even though David wasn't ready to say what was next for him, he did say it was excellent, and that number is usually the number that most pitchers get to at the end of their either rehab assignments or spring training. So I got to imagine he's probably ready.
Well, he said on the radio show that I did with him that they will have to sit down and talk about it, and they would have some type of decision relative to Alex Wood sometime within the next 24 hours or so. That would mean, yes, he's going to go back and pitch another rehab start, or they're going to bring him to the big leagues, and then they've got to do some real shuffling as far as that rotation is concerned.
They could. Lucas Sims obviously is taking Tyler Malley's spot on Wednesday. They don't know what's going to happen the next time that spot comes around, but that would be a logical place for Wood to move into.
Eric Thames is hit by a pitch, so he'll go on down to first base, and here's the second baseman, Hura, the rookie. And, of course, Tucker Barnhart goes out Thursday.
He goes out Thursday. I talked to him yesterday, and he says he's feeling really good. The big thing for him is swinging left-handed. That's how he hurt himself in Anaheim, and he doesn't feel any pain there anymore. He's been able to swing right-handed for a while, was able to do his catching, and now he seems to have passed the hurdle of swinging left-handed, and he feels like maybe a 4-game assignment will be the plan.
What's the scuttlebutt on Kyle Farmer?
I've talked to him a couple times, and he feels much better. I believe his time is up tomorrow, with the concussion list.
But you can extend that,
of course, yeah. But everything I've heard from him is that after the first day or so, when he felt terrible, he's been feeling good ever since and much better. So he's here, as you've seen, and doing all the other stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's brought back tomorrow.
1 ball and 1 strike on the second baseman, Hura, who's had a great year since coming to the big leagues. He checks his swing, and that's a ball. A .331 batting average, 9 home runs, and 23 runs batted in. David Hernandez is not with the club. Is that right?
He is not.
That's what I thought.
I did not see him. I don't know how long. I don't even know if he started throwing yet.
Right. 2-1 pitch. Check swing, foul ball. Excuse me, contact by the right-hand batter to even the count at 2-2. Any scuttlebutt out on the street with this trade deadline drawing closer and closer?
It's been remarkably quiet to me.
It really
I feel
is,
like not just with the Reds, but with everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of playing it close to the vest. The one thing I do see, just in a general sense, is someone reported that the asking price for relievers is crazy high.
Strike 3 call.
Which, unfortunately for the Reds, is what they need, especially controllable ones.
Well, I mean, when you consider the fact that rarely is there a team outside of maybe the New York Yankees that doesn't need relief help.
Yeah.
So it naturally stands to reason that the asking price is going to be very high for those guys.
Especially now with starters and only going 5 and 6 innings. Bullpens are wearing down faster. The types of, the way the Reds run their bullpen and the Brewers run their bullpen, where they mix and match and have some guys throw 3 innings and things like that. You need a few healthy arms.
Tyler Saladino, and all he's done is hit grand slams in back-to-back games, Sunday in Arizona and last night against the Reds, swings on a high fastball.
Well, I think the big deal with this year's trade deadline is there's only one. So, Of course, everybody's going to ask for the house.
Yep. Check swing, soft liner. Votto has it in foul territory, and that's the inning.
Martin. Word for the Brewers here in the third with the Reds up 4-0. And it'll be Eugenio Suarez coming to the plate. And he's really been productive over his last 3 at-bats with a trio of home runs, each of his last 3 times up, all of them with a man on base. Of course, last night's the game winner, as it would turn out, in the 9th. 2-run home run got the Reds on the board back in the first. He takes a first pitch breaking ball here from Davies for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Had a chance to talk with Suarez today. He was all smiles, as you might imagine. The 0-1 pitch, and he takes down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Said yesterday the Reds gave up those runs in the 8th inning. He said, I just felt like this was still our game. Came back into the dugout, as Marty mentioned, fired up. Hoping to get a chance. He did. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it misses low and inside. And that was one of those at-bats. He said, Jeffress a good sinker ball guy. He goes, so I'm just trying to get something that I can drive in that run from second base. Just trying to get a base hit. And then all of a sudden I see this curveball floating up there, and it was right where I wanted it. The 2-1 is chopped foul outside of third. He said, when that pitch was thrown and you saw it leave his hand, did you think that was going to be trouble? He goes, oh, yeah.
He's right, too, because when hitters are getting locked in like that, they see the ball so well. It's almost like slow motion, that ball coming out of the hand, and he probably was just licking his chops.
And the opposite can hold true for pitchers, too, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can let it go, and as soon as it leaves your hand, uh-oh.
Don't swing. Your first thought is don't swing or hit it at somebody.
The pitch missed, ball 3, full count on Eugenio Suarez.
But I love the fact that he went in and got the team fired back up. That's huge.
Certainly shows some leadership, doesn't it? Swing and a
Absolutely.
miss. He's down on strikes. 1 gone in the 3rd. 4th strikeout for Zach Davies, and Yasiel Puig will bat. A walk his first time up today. Another beautiful night here in Milwaukee. My goodness.
Yeah, it's almost chilly.
A little bit. Pull out the pullover today.
Yeah, my sticks are getting cold. I don't have a pullover here.
You got to look at the weather before you pack. The pitch too tight. 1 ball, no strikes on Yasiel Puig. Did you check the weather, or did you just assume it's summertime? And
yeah, I like to assume those things.
yeah.
Plus, all my sleeves are packed away. Our winter ended a long time ago in Texas.
The 1-0's fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike on Yasiel Puig. So are you telling me that when once the summer gets there, all of your winter clothes are no longer accessible? You can't even pull them out of the drawer?
I can get them. They're on hangers, but all the way to the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'd hate for you to have to go to the end of your closet.
Yeah, it's tough.
Out and away, 2 balls and a strike.
It's tough trying to dig out clothes that you don't want to wear except for December and January.
I got it. 2-1. And this is whacked to center field. Lorenzo Cain will come in and make the chest-high catch. 2-minute out of the 3rd inning. Just for good measure, I always pack a couple of pullover jackets.
Well, I'm new at this.
Well, so am I. Jesse Winker stands in. Like Suarez, Winker had a 2-run home run in the 1st. Reds got off to a quick start against Zach Davies. He retired the Reds 1-2-3 in the 2nd, trying to do the same here in the 3rd. And the pitch, Winker takes tight. 1-0.
A lot of the hitters today for the Reds, even balls that they're not swinging at, they're good takes, meaning that they're not offering, they're following, they're tracking the ball all the way in, and not even offering at something just a little bit off the plate.
Like that one to Winker.
Yeah.
Again, just off the plate in, he takes ball 2. Davies came into this start on fire, and he was dialed in. His last 4 starts and not allowed more than a run in any of those games. The pitch is a strike. 2-1. 6th in the majors with his 2.79 ERA, and that ERA over those last 4 starts, 0.77. That one ate up Winker. Somehow he fouled it off over by Scooter Gennett, who had to go bailing out of the way.
And somehow Scooter did bail out of the way. I always felt like the on-deck circle was too close to the batter's box. for reasons just like that.
And here it's kind of far.
Yeah.
Compared to what it is in
others.
other parts.
Yep.
Some places you feel like you're right there at the plate, the 2-2. And Winker flares this one down the left field line, and that will land just fair. Winker thinking 2 on his way to second. Here comes the throw, and Winker is out by a mile. He was thinking 2 out of the box because the left side was vacated. But Beck Davies bats leading off the Brewers' third, 4-0 Reds, and he takes a first pitch strike from Tanner Oark, and it is quickly 0-1 on the pitcher. He has 5 hits this year, 5 for 38, and he takes down and away, and that'll even the count. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. That amounts to a 132 average. He has a couple of RBIs, too. The 1-1. And Davies takes down and away. 6 foot, 155-pound right-hander, Zach Davies. Came over from the Baltimore Orioles as a minor leaguer in a deadline deal back in 2015. There's a strike. Having himself a fine year on the mound on the 2-2 pitch. Reaches for this one, pokes it on the ground on the right side. Gloved by Votto, and he'll feed it to Roark covering. Davies is out. Jesse Winker made the game's 15th out, brought to you by Geico. That play went 5-6. Moustakas to Saladino covering to tag out Winker, trying to stretch that single into a double. Saving you money on car insurance has been Geico's home run for over 75 years. Get a quote today with a proud partner of Major League Baseball at Geico.com. Geico, so easy, a caveman can do it. Lorenzo Cain is up. He bats with the bases clear, 1 down. Cain grounded out to the pitcher his first time up, and now he awaits the first pitch and takes a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Roark through the signs is ready. He deals to Cain, and Cain looks at strike 2. He had a couple of hits yesterday. Finished 2 for 4. Also walked. The 0-2 in the dirt outside. Roark tried to get him to go after a breaking ball down and away. Cain did not. But he's still down in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Been in Milwaukee for 2 days now, and I have yet to see a cloud. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, too.
A 1-2 pitch. Look out over by the Brewers dugout on that line shot foul. 1-2. Nice gathering tonight at Miller Park. Little game of this 3-game series. Reds and Brewers are dead even on the season series at 7 apiece. The pitch low and away, and the count evens on Lorenzo Cain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, the Reds have won 4 straight from Milwaukee. The 2-2 pitch, and Cain rips it on a line right between short and third. That's a 1-out single. Cain's aboard ahead of Christian Yelich. The Reds were very careful with Yelich last night. He did get a hit, 1 for 3, scored a run, and walked twice. He was out on a fly to the left fielder Winker. His first time up back in the first inning. He bats with Cain at first and 1 man out. The pitch to the left-handed hitting Yelich misses to a high, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. With his 3rd inning single last night, Yelich extended his hit streak to 11 games. A 1-0. And it's too far inside. A fastball from Roark. 2 balls and no strikes.
And he's already had an 18-game hitting streak earlier in the season as well. I mean, you can't say enough of how good Christian Yelich has been.
He's something. Roark to the plate with a 2-0, and Yelich is out in front as he whacks it deep and foul down the right field line. Yelich and Roark have squared off quite a bit. Yelich has taken him deep twice. He's 13 for 48 lifetime against Tanner Roark. The 271 clip. The 2-1 pitch. And Yelich takes just off the inside corner. That didn't miss by much from Roark. And it's 3-1.
I mean, that's a perfect pitcher's pitch right there. If Yelich does swing at that, there's nothing he can do except jam himself on it.
Signal given, Roark to the belt, and the 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. Fastball top of the zone. And the count runs full on Yelich. Kane off of first. Roark will turn and throw over to check on Kane, who's back safely with a dive. They could put him in motion. Kane has 12 stolen bases this season in 18 tries. You've got a full count here on Yelich. See if they start the runner with one out. Roark, a long look in. He'll back off the rubber now and get a fresh set of signs from his catcher, Ryan Lavarnway. Yelich slowly back in, taps the plate. Calm stance at the plate as he waits on the payoff pitch, and Roark brings it home, and strike 3 called.
And, you know, going through that whole set of signs right there with Lavarnway, this is his first time actually catching Roark, so I immediately thought maybe he wants to throw that two-seamer that starts in on the lefty and comes back over the plate, and that was absolutely filthy. That's when you know Roark is at his best.
And that was perfectly executed. It's exactly what it was. Started that in. Yelich gave up on it early, and it came right back over the inner half of the plate. Third strikeout for Tanner Roark. It's the second out of the third, and now Yasmani Grandal takes a first pitch strike over the outside corner.
And you know what set that up, too, is earlier in that at-bat, that slider that was just off the plate inside, that was a ball. Now, that third strike pitch went the other direction, so it definitely fools a hitter up there.
Here comes the 0-1, fouled back this way out of play. And now he's way ahead of Yasmani Grandal. No balls and 2 strikes. Lorenzo Cain still at first base. He's there with 2 outs, and the Reds up 4-0 in the bottom of the third inning. Roark to the plate with the 0-2. Fouled back by Grandal. We'll try it again. Reds will shift against the Brewer catcher. Scooter Gennett out of the outfield grass and right. Glacius to the second base side of the bag, and Suarez near short. The pitch misses with a breaking ball down and in. 1-2 on Grandal. The gap for Grandal is right center field, with Senzel shading a little bit towards left and center. Straight away and deep and right for Puig. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Off the plate outside, and the count is evened up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grandal has one of the 2 Brewer hits today. 2-out single in the first inning. Lorenzo Cain with the second. His 1-out base hit here in the third. He leads off first on the 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. We'll try it again. Thrilling win for the Reds last night. And they scored 4 in the first inning tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Once again. And Grandal sends a fly ball to Winker left. He'll go back. He's under it. And Winker's got it. The inning is over. The Brewers down quietly in the... Reds are up 4-0 coming to bat in the top of the fourth inning. Scooter Gennett, Jose Iglesias, and Ryan Lavarnway are the do-ups. If you're listening today on your car or truck radio, please remember to buckle your safety belt. This message brought to you by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. If you're not buckled up, what's holding you back? Zach Davies back to work, and he's to the plate. The first pitch here to Gennett. He shows bunt, lays it down, foul. In the opposite batter's box. Strike one. That's the direct result of the way the Brewers are playing Scooter right now. Keston here in shallow right. The shortstop, Saladino, right side of second. Moustakis even with the bag, but halfway between third and second base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This time, no sign of a bunt as he takes in at his shins, bailing out of the way on ball one.
Just wish more hitters would at least show that they will attempt to bunt into the shift.
Here comes the 1-1, and this is fouled back. Yeah, I mean, even just showing that you're not afraid to do it sends a message.
Right. At Moustakis, you saw him come up on the infield and come up to the grass even for the next couple pitches. Now with 2 strikes, obviously he goes back, but it keeps him honest out there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Davies into his windup, and he's home with the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Scooter Gennett is down on strikes. Look who has stopped by the booth. Bob Uecker.
Yeah, a couple legends back here.
Yeah. I mean, I know he stopped by to see you and I, right?
Yes.
Of course, popped in the booth to say hello to his old friend Marty Brenneman. Now, if I cannot tell you how big of a thrill it was back in spring training. The pitch taken high for ball one to Jose Iglesias. Uke stopped by the booth, and I mean, it was nonstop laughs with him and Marty telling stories back and forth for about 30, 45 minutes. That was the highlight of spring training, and it was tremendous.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed right now that I can't take this headset off and listen to their conversation.
I mean, you can. Here's the 1-1, and this is fouled away right side. Ball and 2 strikes. I mean, that was really a treat, and the two of those, as you said, legends, and you said that appropriately, sat down today with Jim Day. Can't wait to hear that. The 1-2 pitch. Down and away to Jose Iglesias. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count, but what a nice ceremony today for Marty and the Brewers folks. Got a group really of the two teams, broadcasters, a lot of the folks that have been around this Brewers organization and have gotten to know Marty very well over the years. And it was really a nice little kind of impromptu party down in the TV booth today. The pitch fouled away to the right side with some Skyline chili and all. And some really, really gracious gifts. Ryan Anderson put that together. Of course, Bob Uecker, part of that. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that is down and away.
And just to verify, the Skyline chili was homemade here by the Milwaukee's Brewers chef.
It was sensational. That was very good.
I'm sure it was.
Right on point. Here's the payoff. And Iglesias sends a fly ball to left center field, and Kane won't get that. That's down for a hit. And Jose Iglesias is on with a 1-out base hit.
So you enjoyed that?
I did. It
Skyline
was very good, yes. It was tremendous.
Did it taste the same as Cincinnati's?
It's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very close. They did an excellent job. 1 on with 1 out, and here's Ryan Lavarnway. He doubled back in the first inning, but it brought the first to a close because Scooter Gennett was thrown out trying to score from first base. And as Marty talked about, that was a gamble the Reds were willing to take with J.R. House waving Gennett around with the pitcher due up next. 1 on, 1 out for Lavarnway with Iglesias on. Here's the stretch by Davies, and he's to the plate. And the pitch is a strike called over the outside corner. Iglesias a short lead at first. And now time called at the plate. Yeah, you were afraid to try it.
I mean, afraid's
No,
a pretty strong word.
You were afraid. Let's call it what it was. Here's the pitch. That's a strike over the outside corner.
I mean, a better word is I was smart to not try it.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be able to come and be a part of this 9-inning game and not have to take a break for any reason. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Loud and clear. 0-2 on Ryan LaVarnway. Davies from the belt. He brings it home. There goes the runner. The pitch is a ball. Throw to second, not in time. That pitch was close. But called a ball, and Iglesias down at second with his 4th stolen base of the year. And I really think Yasmani Grandal, when he stood up after that throw to second, I think he was maybe saying something under his breath to the plate umpire, Greg Gibson. I would guess he wanted that call, didn't get it, but now the Reds are in business here with the runner at second and 1 out. But a 1-2 count on LaVarnway in the pitch. And he fouls it away right side. We'll try it again. Right-hander against right-hander. Iglesias leads off of second base as Davies sets at the belt and home with the 1-2 pitch. And again, a grounder, this time foul over the third base side. So we'll try it again. The bat continues here between Davies and LaVarnway.
LaVarnway, he's a Yale.
Yes, he is.
Former Yale student athlete.
The 1-2 pitch. And LaVarnway flares one down the right field line, and it lands foul. And bounces back up into the seats. So, again, we'll try the 1-2 pitch. Yeah, he is very smart. You talk to him, it's no surprise. He's an Ivy Leaguer.
Gosh, must be nice to say that, huh?
That'll carry you a long ways.
It will.
Yeah.
I mean, reading up on him a little bit today, that was the thing that stood out to me. Ivy Leaguer.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Davies got a fastball by him. LaVarnway down on strikes, and now 2 outs with the pitcher Tanner Roark up. We'll throw you into this category. I'm always impressed with student athletes because being a student was hard enough for me, let alone trying to play a sport.
Well, I think it depends on what school you're at.
I guess the pitch in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Because I know certain Division I schools make sure that you have all the tutoring that you need.
That's true.
As a student athlete.
That's a very good point.
And now I'm just a student, and I don't have those same tutors.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going lovely, but it's very stressful.
You're almost done.
I'll be done in the spring.
The 0-1 pitch. Roark takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But it's very stressful, Tommy. Very.
The other day you were doing homework in the booth during the rain delay.
I was.
Colorado.
I was.
I thought you were crunching some numbers, getting ready for the game. You're crunching numbers.
Finite mathematics.
The 1-1. Swing and miss. Slow breaking ball, and Roark was out on his front foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4-0 Reds lead the Brewers. Runner at second, 2 outs. We're in the 4th here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Roark waves the bat out over the plate. As Davies looks in to get the sign from his catcher, Grandal. He's ready, and he's home with a 1-2 pitch to the Reds pitcher. And it missed down and away.
Now, Marty mentioned this earlier. Davies is not missing by much, and it's been that way the whole game. When he throws balls, they're just off the plate. But the Reds hitters, their approach today is to be patient.
And in doing so, they have driven that pitch count up. Roark fouls it away. Davies has now thrown 87 pitches as he works to Roark here, with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Iglesias away from second with 2 outs. Davies straightens and deals the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Slow breaking ball. Roark down on strikes. Davies. The Brewers get ready to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it'll be Mike Moustakas, Ryan Braun, and Eric Thames if anybody gets on. Keston Hira. This is a chance for the Reds possibly to climb into 4th place if they can hang on to this one tonight. Still a long ways to go, of course, but in the bottom of the 7th inning in Pittsburgh, the Cardinals are up on the Pirates 4-3. And the Brewers still very much alive, not just in the NL Central at 2 games out, but also in the wild card. The Brewers were staking claim to that 2nd wild card spot when play began last night. With the loss, they fell out, and now the Brewers find themselves a half game out of that 2nd wild card spot behind St. Louis. The Cardinals have been playing some great baseball. They've won 8 out of their last 10. Pitch to Mike Moustakas, taken for ball 1. Make that ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Moustakas. Roark back to work against the left-handed hitting third baseman, and the pitch missed up and away, and now he's behind him 3 balls and no strikes. Moustakas flew out to Winker and left. His first time up. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter, and Roark to the plate. And it's a strike called over the outside corner, 3-1. Roark nods the sign to the plate with a 3-1 pitch. Right back in there. Grabbed the inside corner. Called strike 2. And he's gone from 3-0 to working the count full against Moustakas.
And that's a 3-1 cutter that caught the corner. I wonder if he's going to come back with that 2-seamer in.
Here's the payoff, and it's fouled away. Went back to the heater, elevated, and Moustakas fights it off.
Roark is so good when he can command that side of the plate, especially to the lefties, going in on them with the ball moving in 2 different directions with 2 different speeds.
Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Moustakas, and back to the plate again with a payoff, and again fouled away, almost the same spot. Into the upper deck, behind the third base dugout. Moustakas has hit safely in 12 straight, hitting .313 over that stretch. Both of these 2 teams, the Brewers and the Reds, have hit well since the break. Now Moustakas sends a high, towering pop-up behind the right side. Scooter Gennett was already playing in that vicinity, so he'll make the catch on that shallow pop to right. And there's 1 gone in the 4th inning. One out for Ryan Braun. A strikeout his first time up. Talking about the Brewers and how well they've hit since the break. They've hit .281 as a team. That's 3rd in the National League. The Reds, conversely, here's the first pitch to Braun, and that's up and in for ball 1. The Reds lead all of Major League Baseball in hitting since the break. The Reds are hitting .300 as a team. They're tied for the Royals. But uncharacteristic from the first half, they just haven't been able to get that pitching that they had for most of the first 3 months of the season.
Well, the Reds are a team that did not need that all-star break to come. They were rolling. They were playing so well both sides of the ball.
1-0 fouled away right side by Ryan Braun. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And I know at this point in the season, everybody wants those days off at the All-Star break. But when you're playing well, man, it's like you just want to keep going out there.
1 ball, 1 strike on Braun. Roark to the plate. Braun got jammed, breaks his bat as he flares one out past short. But there goes Iglesias with the over-the-shoulder basket catch. Shallow left field. The Red shortstop made that thing look easy, and by no means was it.
It was not easy at all. And that was almost just a casual fly ball for him. That's like I said yesterday. That's the guy that drives it down the middle of the fairway on golf every time. It's boring. Just kidding. It's not boring. It's very spectacular.
Certainly nothing boring about watching him play short. First pitch, a strike to Eric Thames, and it's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Thames fouls it straight back. No balls, 2 strikes. But the point remains. He makes really tough plays look routine.
Yes.
And Thames lays off a breaking ball on 0-2. It misses in the dirt outside, and he's still way behind in the count against Roark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thames was hit by a pitch his first time up. Roark trying for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Reds are up 4-0 with the Brewers batting in the home 4th. The 1-2. Thames grounds it foul outside of first base. Ball and 2 strikes. Brewers have not had a runner past first yet. They have not had more than 1 on, and now Thames taps one right out in front of the plate. Roark will pick it up and toss to first to get the out.
On we go, top of the 5th, and I think it's safe to say Zach Davies has settled down after being battered from pillar to post in the first inning. He has limited the Reds to only 2 hits and pitching shutout baseball over the last 3, and now delivers a first pitch strike at the outset of this 5th inning to Nick Senzel. Nick has struck out and popped out. And the pitch sails outside a ball to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Reds. No runs, 2 hits for the Brewers after 4 innings of baseball. Little bit up and away, and the count's 3 balls and no strikes. So Davies, who has walked only 1, and that was Yasiel Puig back in the first inning, is a pitch away from doing it again. And he turns it loose, and that pitch is swung on and grounded toward the hole. And it deflected off the glove of Moustakas and kicked off to the left of the shortstop Saladino, and is picked up in left center field by Ryan Braun. A deflection. It might have been iffy anyway, and Saladino been able to come up with a ball with his momentum taking him toward the left field foul line to try and set and throw Senzel out. But the deflection off the glove of Moustakas turns out to be a base hit for Nick Senzel to begin this 5th inning.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I don't think there was any chance of Saladino being able to throw him out. He gets down the line very quick.
Here's Joey Votto now after the leadoff single. And Votto takes a first pitch strike. You know, as you make the final tour like I am, there are certain cities that, boy, you really hate to say goodbye to. It was like that for me in San Francisco. Quite honestly, it was like that for me in Cleveland. And it certainly is like that for me here in Milwaukee. And I want to issue a public thanks to the guys on the TV side of the Brewer broadcasting people. That pitch is in the dirt, namely Brian Anderson, who I've known since he was a teenager, trying to get some type of help to make an inroad into this business, has become a major star now at the local level, the TV voice of the Brewers, and a national voice in NBA and collegiate basketball, along with his partner, Bill Schroeder, who's a former Milwaukee catcher. They had a very, very nice affair for me shortly before 6 o'clock here at the ballpark tonight. Gave me a number of gifts. And not only that, here's a ground ball foul, but the chef here at the ballpark had Skyline Chili flown in from Cincinnati, and it was a real deal. And I want to thank the folks at Skyline for being such a willing partner in what was a tremendous surprise to me. a lot of folks that have worked up here at the press level for a lot of years. Our engineer, Ryan Elliott, who we've gotten pretty close to over the years. He's become a good friend, and a lot of other people. And it's going to be really difficult tomorrow as a broadcaster to leave this city for the final time. There is no question I'll be back because I love this city and have for many, many years. And they say that the people make the city or the town or whatever it is. And that could not be more true than it is here in the city of Milwaukee. So I thank those folks from the bottom of my heart, and I make every effort in the world down the road to hopefully see each and every one of them in the years to come. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Joey Votto after the base hit by Senzel. Votto hits it to the right side. They go to second for the... No, he dropped the ball, and all hands are safe. The Reds catch a major break. Saladino took the throw from Mike Moustakas and simply coughed it up. So that's going to be a fielder's choice. He gave him a good throw. I mean, he hit him right into the glove in front of his chest. But in his haste to make the catch and throw to first, he simply dropped the ball. So that will be an error on Saladino, a fielder's choice ground ball off the bat of Joey Votto. And the Reds have 2 on with nobody out.
There's no other way to put it. He just simply dropped the ball, trying to be too quick with that to turn a double play. Of course, the basic part of a double play is you got to get the first one.
So now here's Eugenio Suarez, who had a 2-run homer in the first and then lined out to center his last time up. Now, here's the story about Bob Uecker and Tommy Thrall.
Yeah.
So now we go to spring training, and the day before the Reds and the Brewers play their first spring training game, Bob texts me. Bob and I are good friends and have been for a long time. He said, "Are you going to be in Maryvale tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah, I'm working." He said, "Well, I'm working too. I just wanted to be sure you were coming." So now Tommy is along with us, and he is really, really pumped up about the prospects of meeting Bob Uecker. And why not?
Right.
The guy's a legend, you know, Mr. Belvedere, the Johnny Carson show over 100 times, Major League, the list goes on, and truly one of the funniest human beings that God ever put on this earth. So now we get to the ballpark at Maryvale, a 2-0 count on Suarez. I go into Bob's radio booth. I said, "Hey, we got a new guy with us, young guy coming up out of the minor leagues. He's going to be working with us this year, probably next year. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and that's a swing and a ground ball, base hit into left field, and the green light for Nick Senzel, who scores, and the Reds have themselves a 5-0 lead, and Suarez has knocked in 3. So I said, this young guy, I'm going to bring him over. He is dying to meet you. And all I said to Bob was, based on the years that we've known each other and knowing how his personality is, you know what you've got to do. And he said, I'm good for that. Meanwhile, and we'll have to continue this in a moment because right now manager Craig Counsell is approaching the mound, and that normally portends a pitching change. And in this case, it is no different. The night for Zach Davies is over.
Inning here, nobody out still, and the Reds making some noise. Already 1 run in on the inning. Runners at first and second. Yasiel Puig is up to bat. He'll face new Brewers pitcher, left-handed reliever Alex Claudio. He's on for his National League leading 54th appearance of the season, 2-2 with a 3.98 ERA.
So the Brewers have made a call to the bullpen. Tri-State 811 partners in safety want you to know what's below. Contact 811 before you dig. So now I go back to the Brewers-Reds radio booth, and I said, hey, Bob's over there. Let me take you over there to meet him. So we go back to the Brewers radio booth, and Bob has his cell phone to his ear, and he's talking to somebody, and he looks up, and I pointed to Tommy, and he said, and he keeps talking, and then he says, here's a pitch to Puig, and that's hit foul. He turns around, looks at Tommy like he's half interested because he's paying attention. He said, I'll see you when the season begins. And he keeps talking. Now, Tommy doesn't know what to think. He's standing there looking at me, and I act like I'm a little bit put out by the position that Bob's taking. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Puig with 2 on and a run in. and that's a fastball away. Bob turns around again and said, puts his hand over, so I'll see you when the regular season begins. Well, now I act like I'm really mad, and he acts like he's devastated. He doesn't know what to do.
You're mad, he's sad.
Yes. And so I said, let's go. So we went back down to the radio booth. I act like I'm really bent out of shape. A few minutes later, Bob walks in and then dazzles us with stories for the next 30 minutes. Right or wrong. It was good stuff.
That's awesome.
He's a funny man, boy.
Just right on cue.
Right? I mean, everything is spontaneous with him. 1-2 pitch. That's off the plate outside. So needless to say, I'm going to miss seeing him and all the guys, Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle, who work with him on radio, and Brian Anderson and Bill Rock-Schroeder on the TV side. This is a special group of people here. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and that's a big chopper up the middle. Cut off by the shortstop, and the throw not in time. And Puig going hard down the line, beats it in a photo finish at first base. Infield hit, bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, you know what that's a product of. Well, you know Saladino has been their offensive hero the last couple of days, but that's an experience of shortstop at the big league level. He's spent a lot of time in the minor leagues as of late and did not realize how quick Puig was getting down that line.
Yep. So there they are out there with 3 on and nobody out, and David Bell is going to go to his bench, taking down Jesse Winker and sending up Phillip Ervin. This inning began with a base hit by Senzel, a shot off the glove of Moustakas. It carried into left. Votto then grounded to second. The throw went from Moustakas to the shortstop Saladino, trying to get the force. He dropped the ball for an error. Call strike. Suarez singled in a run. Gone is Davies. On is Claudio. And Puig greets him with an infield single to fill him up. Ervin can do big-time damage right here. Down a strike against a left-hander who pitches. And that one is hit into right field, and that ball is going to be a fair ball. Down the line it goes. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score. They're waving Puig around. He's coming to the plate. The throw to third will not be in time. It's a triple. It's a 3 RBI hit. And the Reds have taken an 8-0 lead. A slicing drive to right. Down the line off the bat of Phillip Ervin. Brings in Votto and Suarez and Puig. And it's another 4-run inning and an 8-run advantage. Wow.
A great piece of hitting right there by Ervin. And to make that switch this early in the game, taking Jesse Winker out, who's been seeing the ball well today, against the lefty, take him out, put Ervin in. He does exactly what you want him to do.
Yep. Still nobody out. And here's Scooter Gennett. He's 1 for 2 tonight, and he checks his swing and a breaking ball for a strike. That's way outside. A ball, a strike. 4 for 48 weekends are back this season. Cheer on the Reds when they take on the Rockies Friday through Sunday. And save thanks to Mike's Car Wash. Buy 4 view-level tickets and receive 4 Reds caps for only $48. Take advantage of this great deal at Reds.com/4 for 48. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a high fly ball hit back into deep right center field. Caught on the track by the right fielder Yelich. But Ervin will tag and trot home to make it 9-0.
Scooter did a great job on staying in with that pitch. That was a breaking ball. And Claudio's delivery is across his body, kind of sidearm a little bit, coming right at a lefty. And Scooter did a great job staying with it and doing everything he could to drive in that run.
He didn't miss by much, hitting one out of here.
That's right.
Here now is Iglesias, who's 1 for 2. Ball 1.
You know, it was so cool turning around and seeing you and Uke having a little chat back there. But I'm going to tell you, if he walks in here again, I'm giving him my headphones. And he's going to sit in this chair, and you guys are going to go back and forth. That will be the highlight of my career.
Well, I would tell you, here's a drive hit down the left field line, but foul. He and I played golf a number of times in Cincinnati, and that is people would pay money to hear that conversation. I mean, he and I have just had such a great friendship. I guess because we're both about half nuts. There's no question about him. There's a swing and a miss. And the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. But, I mean, when you look at his body of work, I mean, he was a catcher. He was telling us he led the league one year with 27 pass balls. That was the first year that Phil Niekro was a rotation pitcher with the Braves back in the 60s. Here's a swing and a foul. And his favorite line was, back in those days, people would say, how is it to catch a knuckleballer? He said, it's not a problem at all. I just go pick it up after it stops rolling. It's one of the great lines of all time.
Oh, my goodness.
27 pass balls in 1 year, and he parlayed a very so-so big league career into an incredible career after baseball. Played with the Cardinals, played with the Braves, was born and raised here in Milwaukee. The Johnny Carson Show, more than anybody else over the years that Carson hosted the Tonight Show, over 100 times Bob Uecker was on. There's a swing and a miss, and that's a punch out of Iglesias for the second out of the inning. And then came Mr. Belvedere, which ran for 6 years and was a very popular TV program. And then the movie Major League. I mean, his body of work is absolutely incredible.
You know, in his defense, catching a knuckleballer, I'm sure he didn't have the kind of gloves that they have these days when knuckleballers are out there, those giant catcher's mitts.
Well, no, the first one ever used, if memory serves me correctly, was used by a guy named Bob Didier, and he caught Phil Niekro in Atlanta, and he had an oversized catcher's mitt. They might have had one earlier than that when Hoyt Wilhelm was pitching for the Baltimore Orioles back in the early 50s. But Bob Didier was the only catcher that, and I could stand corrected, that had some idea of how to correctly catch a knuckleball. And he could not, Bob Didier could not hit a lick. But he was so good at catching Phil Niekro that he parlayed a career into it in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Later became a very, very competent, intelligent, and successful scout. Ryan Lavarnway was doubled and struck out. He's waiting on the 0-2 pitch from left-hander Alex Claudio. We're at the top of the 5th. The Reds lead 9-0. That's strike 3 call, and that ends the inning. The Reds send 8 men up. 5 of them score. He knows what to do with himself. He's got a 9-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, where he'll face Thames, Higuera, and Saladino. Here's the first pitch, and the first pitch is in for a strike. Thames hit by a pitch in the second. The Brewers have had only 2 hits, a Grandal single in the first, and then a base hit by Kane in the third. This one lifted out of play, and 0-2.
Well, the thing with Tanner Roark, if it was somebody else, a younger pitcher, I would be a little worried pitching with a 9-run lead, but he pitches the same no matter what the score is every time out.
Keeps the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Right now, a 78-pitch night for Tanner Roark. You got to figure he's going to get through, barring some unforeseen offensive explosion, that'll get him through the 6th and maybe even the 7th. There's a swing and a miss on a pitch up and in, and that's a strikeout. Here's Saladino with one out. O'Hara strikes out, and now Saladino stands in. He fouled out his first time up, and he takes a strike. What this young man's done the last 2 days probably have gotten the Wolves away from his door. We mentioned the fact that they've really been beating him up here, the fans have, because Hernan Perez was a very popular member of this club, and it was a shocking announcement to many of them when they opted to let him go. They designated him and brought Saladino up. And here's a slow chopper that will be an infield base hit down the third base line. He didn't help himself because he didn't hit a lick. But lately, the grand slam in Arizona on Sunday, the grand slam that he hit here last night, and maybe the hue and the cry about Tyler Saladino on this club and Perez no longer here may have subsided a bit. Ben Gamble will stand in to pinch hit for pitcher Alex Claudio. Gamble, a left-hand batter with one out. Third base hit of the night for Milwaukee. And the pitch to Gamble is taken for a strike.
Yeah, I was shocked, too, with the move of Hernan Perez. And I have nothing to do with this organization of the Brewers here, but I thought he was a very popular guy.
Yeah.
A guy that could play multiple positions very well. And they just cut ties with him.
There's ball 2, 2-0, or 1-1 to count. Now he works, and it's high, and the count's 2-1. Infield looking for the ground ball. The pitch, and that's a strike. Foul ball by Gamble. .250 batter with 5 home runs and 24 runs batted in. This ball club last night opened the game with only 2 extra bats on the bench. One with Hira, who suffered a quad injury. Obviously, it wasn't all that bad, but he didn't start. He was scratched from his starting position at second, but later pinch hit in the game. And, of course, Ryan Braun being away for the funeral of Tyler Skaggs. Gamble strikes out swinging. But a little bit healthier tonight. Gamble out on strikes, and that's a second punch out in the inning for Tanner Roark, who will now deal with the leadoff batter, Lorenzo Cain. Cain has bounced back to the box. He has also singled. The pitch. Ball 1. They'll wind it up with a day affair here at Miller Park tomorrow. It'll be a 2:10 start Cincinnati time. Lucas Sims will be making his second start of the year. Jolice Chassin will do it for the Milwaukee club. And the Reds have an off day on Thursday. And then Luis Castillo will open the weekend series Friday night at home against the Colorado Rockies. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 out and the runner at first. Fly ball, center field. Senzel racing back near the wall. Can't get it. Ball rattling around on the warning track. That'll bring Saladino around. A 2-out double by Lorenzo Cain. And the Brewers are on the board. It's 9-1. Senzel seemingly was fooled on that ball. He did not start back hard on it. But then he realized that ball was really hit. But the slow break back might have done him in. He may have been able to catch that ball. Very iffy, but maybe had he gotten the break back immediately. But we made the point all the years, the hardest ball for an outfielder to play as the ball hit hard and directly over his head.
Yeah, that was like one of those, like you're playing golf. Your kind of drives, Marty, the ones that start real low and just keep going up and
That's
up.
like the PGA Tour players hit. Mine's the same way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You got a good memory, Danny.
I do.
Christian Yelich, ball one. Speaking of that, boy, they gave me a good-looking golf bag.
Yes, they did.
Titleist, name on it. I mean, Brian Anderson, with his influence in the golfing world, a one-time broadcaster. Here's a line drive into left, and that's a hit. And they're going to bring the runner from second around, and it's 9-2. Yelich delivers to extend his hitting streak to 12 games and drives in a run, his 77th of the year. All this coming after 2 are out. A long meeting at the mound involving Tanner Roark and Ryan LaVarnway, his battery mate. Your memory is never far away from the Reds blowing that 7-0 lead last week at home and losing 12-11 to the Cardinals. The Reds built up a 9-run lead tonight, and now the Brewers have scored twice here in the 5th. Here's Yasmani Grandal, and that's a strike. The pitch, swing and a miss, fastball up in his eyes. And Grandal was spinning on it.
Well, what I like about Roark, too, yes, he's given up back-to-back hits, RBI hits, but he's pounding the strike zone still. He's not trying to pick the corners and mess around. He's attacking guys, and they're just getting some hits off of him. The Tyler Saladino hit, if you want to call it that, swinging bunt, but Yelich and Kane both put good wood on it.
The 0-2 pitch. High, a ball. And now everything changes in terms of how long Tanner Roark will be out there. He's approaching 100 pitches now. So I got to believe with him leading off the top of the 6th inning, he's going to be a 5-inning pitcher tonight. Popped up down the left field line, but out of play. Fans no more need to eat out when you can enjoy the ultimate appetizer from home with JTM's new Craft House Creations beer, cheese, and pretzel bites. Find this favorite game day snack in your grocer's freezer. JTM, let's create great dishes together. 1-2, trying to end a rough 5th. And it's slapped into left field for a base hit. Good bit of hitting right there by Yasmani Grandal, who went with the pitch, had wide open spaces because of the shift on the left side of the infield. And now the batter will be Mike Moustakas, and now Derek Johnson heads out to the mound. What with the big lead, David Bell will go as long as humanly possible to enable Tanner Roark to try and get one more out. But he's got to hold up his end of the bargain.
Yeah, that's a pitch right there. I don't even know why Grandal is swinging like that. He never swings like that. He just happened to hit it where nobody was. But I mean, I've said this over and over again. I'll take 5 Tanner Roarks any day of the week. And this is a guy that he's going to go out there and challenge guys, regardless of the score. And I love the fact that they're going to try to stick with him as long as they can to get a win. Still a 7-run lead. Still pretty good lead. A lot of things would have to happen to give up this lead for Tanner Roark in this inning.
Well, I'll make a prediction. If Moustakas were to hit a ball out of the ballpark right now, Tanner Roark's done. All of a sudden, then it becomes 9-5, and you are giving them a reason to think they can get back in this game.
Yeah, I hear you.
He's got to get an out. checking the runner at second base and on to the plate, and it's chop foul. Moustakas has gotten the ball in the air both times, but they have become routine outs on a fly ball to Jesse Winker, who was in left, and a pop out to Scooter Gennett at second base. 2 on, 2 in, 2 out. The pitch. In the dirt. It's a ball to strike. He is sitting right now at an even 100 pitches. Now his 1-1 delivery, and that is in the air, and it'll be out of play. Dropping into the second deck behind the third base dugout.
Now here's where Roark has to say, this is the last pitch of the game that I'm throwing. Let it be a nasty one. Get out of this inning. Robert Stevenson comes in with a fresh inning next inning.
There's a throw back to second, and he throws it into center field. What a weird play that was. They were apparently, meaning the base runners, thinking about a double steal because Roark was not paying any attention at all to him. But then he realized he spun. The lead runner at second, Yelich, raced back to the bag. Tanner threw and threw the ball into center field, and they both move up after all. So a throwing error by the Reds pitcher puts him at second and third and muddies the water just a little bit more. That will be a flare, and it will be caught, and the inning is over.
9-2, Cincinnati leads Milwaukee here in the top of the 6th inning, and the Brewers have a new pitcher on the mound. He is number 29, right-handed pitcher Bert Smith, on for his 7th appearance of the season, 0-1 record with a 5.06 ERA.
Alex Claudio an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 strikeouts, and Bert Smith, as a result, becomes the 3rd of the night for the Craig Counsell-managed Milwaukee Brewers. For the Reds, it'll be Derek Dietrich off the bench to pinch hit for Tanner Roark. Dietrich, of course, a left-handed batter against the right-hander Smith, and the pitch swung on and hit in the air. Left field, shortstop going out and makes a catch. One pitch, 1 out. And now Nick Senzel will be up for the 4th time already. He's 1 for 3. He got things going in the last inning with a base hit to left and scored the first of what turned out to be a 5-run inning. Ball 1. So Tanner Roark works 5 innings, gives up 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, struck out 5, and did not walk a batter. And the bullpen will be asked to go 4 innings tonight, and if they are equal to the task, Roark will get his 6th win of the season. 2 balls and no strikes. Fouled back by Senzel. Reds got it going early tonight. In fact, they jumped on Zach Davies for 4 in the first inning, a pair of 2-run home runs, one by Eugenio Suarez, the other by Jesse Winker, and then struck for 5 big runs in the 5th inning. The big blow, a pinch hit 3-run triple. Wow, that pitch up and in, head high, and Senzel snapped his head back and spun out of the box. 3-run pinch hit triple by Phillip Urban. Whoa. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Reds have a one-out base runner. And now Joey Votto, who's 1 for 3 and has scored a couple of runs. Reds have out hit them 11-6, have outscored them 9-2. Each club has committed an error. Votto swings, long drive, right field, and the Reds get the 2 runs back. Joey Votto bangs one off the facing of the second deck in left field, his 9th home run, and the Reds have an 11-2 lead.
That's twice tonight that Votto has ambushed the pitchers. His first at bat, the double off the wall in left field, and here, fastball was supposed to be in a little bit, and he just turned on it.
You don't often see Joey Votto turn on a ball like he just did. But, I mean, he got out in front on that pitch.
And he wasn't choking up on that bat either.
He was down on the very end of the bat handle. So the Reds club their 3rd home run of the night. First pitch, a strike to Suarez, who's had another big night here against the Brewers. A 2-run homer and a run-scoring single. One ball and 1 strike. There's a swing and a miss. Young Mr. Smith threw that fastball up. Suarez could not catch up to it. The count is a ball and 2 strikes. Whoa, he hit him with it. Just a glancing blow, and fortunately, that ball might have not gotten anything but uniform. And if that's the case, he was very fortunate because that pitch had something on it. So hit by a pitch, Suarez aboard, and here is Yasiel Puig. Puig has walked and singled and scored twice. Swing, and he didn't get it. 0-1. Got to be a little bit deflating. You come up with a couple of runs, and you give them right back. That's exactly what's happened. They got 2 in the 5th, and now Votto homers with a man aboard to get them back. And once again, the Reds lead by 9 runs. Puig, meanwhile, is in a hole at no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, runner at first, 1 out rather, and a runner at first base here in the 6th. Foul ball. Bert Smith stepped back on, looks back in. And working. Swing and a miss. Came hard in on the hands of Puig and strikes him out. 2-out batter will be Phillip Ervin. Other scores tonight, the Cubbies and the Giants are in the top of the 3rd inning out at Oracle Park in San Francisco, and that game's tied up at 1. The Cardinals have edged the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3. That's the final out of Pittsburgh. So the Reds win this game. They'll climb out of the basement, and Pittsburgh will go into it. One ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss. Other scores in the 8th inning, Colorado being hammered by Washington 11-0. Cleveland, Toronto are in the middle of the 10th inning, tied up at Rogers Center 1-1. There's a call strike. Boston 5, Tampa Bay 2 in the 9th. Philly and Detroit all even at 2 apiece with the Tigers batting in the home 8th inning, while in the top of the 8th, Kansas City leads the Braves in Atlanta 5-2. Miami over the White Sox 5-1 in the 8th. Foul ball. Top of the 9th, Houston shutting out Oakland 2-0. In the top of the 5th, Minnesota beating the Yankees again. Tonight it's 8-2. Baltimore blanking the D-backs, and Arizona 3-0 in the 2nd. Angels nothing, Dodgers nothing. That's just underway in Los Angeles. Texas with a run in the 1st inning and still batting in Seattle. And the Mets have beaten San Diego 5-2. So that's up to date. What's going on in Major League Baseball? Tommy will have finals galore in the award-winning post-game show.
There it is.
That's it. 2-2 pitch.
Can't wait for that.
I'm on pins and needles. A high fly ball headed toward right center field. They will defer to Lorenzo Cain. The inning is over, but the Reds get a pair. And going to the bottom of the 6th inning, they have an 11-2 lead on the Brewers. Got changes for the Reds. Derek Dietrich remains in the game at first. Swing and a foul ball. Well, they called interference on Ryan LaBarnway on that swing, the first such of this 6th inning by Ryan Braun, and the plate umpire calls it thusly. So score that an error on LaBarnway. 2nd error of the game for the Reds, and the leadoff batter's aboard. So Derek Dietrich is in the game after pinch hitting. Joey Votto's out of the lineup. Jose Peraza comes off the bench. He goes to left field. And Phillip Ervin moves from left to right. Yasiel Puig is out of the lineup. Now Stevenson works to Eric Thames, and that one is popped up and out of play. Thames has been hit by a pitch. He's bounced back to the mound. Stevenson coming with a 1-strike pitch. One ball and 1 strike. And it's high, ball 2. I really thought we'd see Sal Romano in this slot right now, because David Bell commented in the pregame show, or at least to me after we finished doing the program. I said, talking about who might not be available tonight. Iglesias probably isn't. Garrett probably isn't. So what the Reds have done so far is a godsend, building up the kind of lead. I said, Romano? He said, yeah, but if he makes an appearance, he would have to be in a low leverage type of situation. Well, it can't get any lower than this.
I know. I agree. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to get him some innings and get him back on a big league mound.
Swing and a miss and a full count.
That's not to say that he won't be at some point in
Correct.
this game, but I mean, 6th inning with a 9-run lead, it would have been a perfect opportunity, I think.
3-2 on Thames. And a foul ball. Western and Southern Financial Group wants to strike out cancer all season long, every time a Reds pitcher strikes out a batter. Western and Southern will make a donation to the Barrett Cancer Center. As Western and Southern says, when it comes to fighting cancer, we are all in this one together. The pitch, ball 4. First 2 have reached.
And again, Robert Stevenson's a guy who needs to be in a low leverage situation too. The last couple games that he's pitched have not gone well. 1 2/3 innings, he's given up the 7 earned run. So trying to get him back on track needed to be a low leverage situation as well.
Keston Hiura, the second baseman, twice tonight has struck out. Here's a pitch. That's a strike. After this series comes to an end, that would be obviously the final game here will be tomorrow. And the Brewers still have a trip to make into Cincinnati. There's a swing and a miss. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. They'll be coming in on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of September. They are the final 3 home games of this 2019 year for the Reds team. The 0-2 coming to Hira, and he strikes out swinging, and he's gone on strikes for the 3rd time in the game.
He looked like he had no apparent clue that whole at bat. He just had his mind made up. He was swinging no matter where these pitches were.
1/3 of the way home is Stevenson. He'll go to work now on Tyler Saladino. Had an infield base hit in the last inning and scored the first of their 2 runs in Tanner Roark's final inning of work. At the moment, not a solitary soul throwing in either bullpen. That's an exception to the rule. Here's a pitch. That's a strike. Yes.
Fans, it's time for Ask Marty, where you can ask the Hall of Famer to give his thoughts on any subject, baseball or non-baseball, presented by CBTS. Today's question comes from Bill Hauser17 at gmail.com.
Bill Hauser17 at gmail.com.
That's right.
I'm in there. Go ahead. 0-2.
I love the conversations with Reds beat writers in the 2nd inning. Who came up with that idea, and was that another Reds first, or did that start with another team's broadcast crew?
No, that started with our broadcast crew. And I'm stunned that other teams have not followed suit, quite honestly. He went around on the pitch, and Saladino is gone on strikes. And now he's going to beef a bit with the plate umpire Greg Gibson to no avail. Back-to-back punch-outs for Bobby Stevenson. And with 2 down in the inning, they are apparently going to send up another pinch hitter, and that'll be Manny Pena. Our broadcast crew started. It gives people a fresh perspective, whether you're talking about your ball club or talking about anything pertaining to the game. And quite honestly, an added plus is to have a guy like Trent Rosecrans, who now works for a national publication in The Athletic. And you got Mark Sheldon. Here's a high drive into left center field. That baby has hit a bunch, and it's gone. So now it's 11-5. Pinch hit home run by Manny Pena on the first pitch thrown by Stevenson. And the Brewers now trail by 6 runs. Here's Lorenzo Cain. So you got Rosecrans, you got Sheldon, you got Bobby Nightingale, you got John Fay. Nightingale and Fay from the Inquirer, MLB.com, Mark Sheldon. It just gives people a different perspective, and I think it's a great addition to our broadcast. I'm stunned, as I say, that other teams don't do it. And we're happy to say that we started it and thankfully still do it. Foul ball out of play.
And I feel cheated sometimes when we have a quick inning and they have to get out.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of great information, sometimes information that we can't get or ever heard.
That is correct.
So if you'd like to suggest a topic for Ask Marty, tweet your question using the hashtag AskMarty or via email at redsonradio@reds.com.
Ground ball hit to second. Scooter Gennett almost took too much time getting that ball to Derek Dietrich.
Reds are up 11-5, batting the 7th inning. And here's the first pitch to Scooter Gennett, and it's a called strike over the outside corner. 0-1 on Scooter. Gennett Officially 1 for 2 today. He has a sacrifice fly. His last time up, also a base hit back in the first. He struck out. The only time now he singles past the third baseman Moustakis in the shortstop hole with the Brewers shifting against Scooter Gennett, and he's on again. Second hit today. I was going to say he struck out the only time he's been retired. I guess technically he retired on the sacrifice fly.
Not an official at bat.
Not an official at bat.
So you were right.
He's having himself a pretty good night. He is 2 for 3 now with an RBI, and here is Jose Iglesias. A base hit in the fourth inning sandwiched between strikeouts, and the pitch to Iglesias is fouled back, strike one. Well, nothing in the Reds bullpen that would suggest that we would not see Robert Stevenson again in the bottom of this seventh inning. The right-hander ready. And Bert Smith straightens on the mound and to the plate with the 0-1. Fouled away. 0-2 on Jose Iglesias. The Reds are trying to win their 5th in a row against this Brewers team. The Reds are 7-7 against Milwaukee this year. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And this is slapped to right. That's a base hit between first and second. Up to second base is Scooter Gennett. He'll hold. And back-to-back singles for the Reds. Open the 7th. Gennett and now Iglesias.
2 at-bats, great hitting right there. Just hitting the ball where it's pitched. And you know what really chaps me? And it's the other team. But when pitchers give up hits, you're supposed to back up the bases. Right. And the pitcher, Bert Smith, just stood there and watched the play. I know I shouldn't be so worked up, but little things like that about the game of baseball really chap me.
Well, that had a chance to be a factor on that play because the throw went to Moustakis at third. It was a low throw, and Moustakis almost blocked it, bodied it up like a catcher to keep that throw from getting away. Here's Ryan Lavarnway, and he swings through strike one. I think that's a fair thing to be chapped about.
Well, it gives pitchers in general a bad rap because you're not spectators after you throw the ball. You're still part of the game. You're still on the field. Do something. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
For now.
I'll give you a hand down off the soapbox. I want you to fall. 0-1 on Lavarnway. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And he's down to the count. No balls, 2 strikes. The Reds opened this game with a 4-run first. Scored 5 in the 5th. Added 2 more in the 6th. The Brewers have scored their 5 runs over the last 2 innings. 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Smith the high hold. Look back at second. And now the 0-2 to Lavarnway. And he takes down and away. Ball and 2 strikes on the Red catcher. Made his debut Friday against the Cardinals, and what a debut it was. Doubled, homered twice, drove in 6. The 1-2 pitch, tight. Evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. First player with 2 home runs in his first game with the Reds ever. Lavarnway waves the bat out over the plate. Bert Smith comes set, looks back at second, to the plate with a 2-2, and this is looped into left. That's a base hit. Around third, here comes Gennett getting the wave. The throw to the plate, not in time. Up to third, Iglesias. An RBI single for Ryan Lavarnway. It's 12-5 Reds.
Tell you what, Lavarnway has a really good idea on having a good approach up there at the plate. Was down 0-2 in this at-bat and ended up working the count a little bit into his favor and did not let himself get jammed and drove that ball into left field. He's done a great job all night.
Chris Hook is on his way to the mound now to have a word with Bert Smith. Parents, there's still time to sign your daughter or son up for the official Reds baseball and softball camps presented by United Healthcare. Campers receive their own uniform, special instructions from a Reds coach, guest appearance by a current Red star, and more. Hurry and sign up today at reds.com/camps. That visit on the mound, rather brief. And there is nothing happening in the Brewers bullpen. How does that conversation go?
Well, that's funny that you asked that, because I've been in that spot when I was a rookie in Cleveland, and the conversation was, okay, you're pretty much going to have to wear this, so I'm just giving you a break right now. So just try to minimize the damage, okay?
Not going to want to look at your numbers for a while after this one. The pitch is outside for ball one to Derek Dietrich.
That's the official hashtag taking one for the team right there.
Well, he's out there wearing it right now in a big way. The Reds got him for 2 runs last inning. They've scored 1 more. Now Dietrich fouls the 1-0 pitch away. They've scored 1 so far in the 7th and are still at work with men at the corners and nobody out. It's 12-5 Reds in the 7th. And now the Brewers will move guys all over the place on the infield with the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Derek Dietrich, who popped a short his first time up. Mike Moustakas, the third baseman, playing between first and second. The pitch, chop foul. Saladino's alone on the left side. Nick Senzel waiting in the on-deck circle. Dietrich waves the bat around. Waiting on the right-hander to get the sign. Smith has it. The high hold on the 1-2. It's up too high. 2 balls, 2 strikes on number 22.
Ooh, deuce is wild.
All over the place right now.
All over.
The left-hander waves the bat over the plate as he waits on Bert Smith. He's ready. The pause on the 2-2. And that just missed low. And the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Ryan Lavarnway is not going to be running on this 3-2 pitch.
Pretty good chance he's not.
Here it comes to Dietrich. High and outside, ball 4, and they are loaded. And back to the top of the order in Nick Senzel.
Well, that was odd pitch selection right there. Full count, changeup to turn the lineup over. We'll take it.
We'll gladly accept that. And now Nick Senzel with the bases juiced, nobody out. Senzel has been on twice today with a single and a walk. He scored twice.
You know, it'd be great right here. Grand Salami, and then the Brewers would bring in a position player to pitch.
It'd be a long way to go with a position player. Senzel pops it foul right side. I mean, we're only in the 7th inning. There's a lot of baseball left for a position player.
Yes, you're right.
But it certainly seems to be set up to go that route at some point. Especially the way this inning's going, but the Reds have scored 1, still at work. Trying to make it a big inning. Swing and a miss. And now Senzel behind the count, no balls and 2 strikes. They've had a couple of those already. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. They play Senzel straight up all the way around, infield and out. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Weakly hit to the left side. Saladino comes charging in. Fields goes to second 1. The return to first is way late. Senzel beats it out. That'll be an RBI, fielder's choice. As the Reds will score Iglesias from third. And now David Bell's trying to sort this out. They're putting all the runners back.
I think they're saying that Derek Dietrich slid away from the base.
David Bell's out to talk with the home plate umpire, Greg Gibson, here. Dietrich is headed back to the dugout, so he's out. Senzel is still, well, now he's going to be out. And David Bell is going to go try to get an explanation here from the second base umpire, Brennan Miller.
This is ridiculous because, of course, I understand that they want to have player safety with the slide rule, the Utley rule at second base. There was no malice in that slide at all, and Derek Dietrich was right at the bag, just off to the side, but clearly was over the bag.
So David Bell continues to discuss this with the umpires. The situation will be this. Iglesias is going to be at third. Lavarnway is still at second base. And both Dietrich and Senzel are out. And Craig Counsell now will go out. He's going to get clarification on all of this. And we're going to have a review. So the Reds are going to take a look at this and try to figure out if the ruling is, in fact, properly applied here. Hey, Dietrich.
He didn't even touch him either.
No, there was no contact that was made. It certainly didn't seem to have any bearing on the outcome of that play. So we'll see how this all plays out. Barbasol Close Shave Manager Review is brought to you by Barbasol Razors. Here's a no-brainer. Barbasol is making razors. Try the Barbasol Ultra 6+ razor today. So if this play is overturned, Senzel would be at first. The run would be in, and there'd be runners at the corners with one out. If it's not, the Reds will have runners at second and third with 2 outs.
And watching the replay over and over again, the flip from Saladino to Hira at second kind of took him that way.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't anything else that Dietrich could have done. There was no contact made, and he did not try to take out Hira at second.
David Bell watching this in the Reds dugout on the big board. He is shaking his head, and he is not going to be happy if this call stands. They are going to call them both out.
That's terrible.
So the play is going to stand. And that will be a double play. Second and third. 2 outs, and now the batter, Jose Peraza, and he swings and fouls the first pitch away. Strike one. Peraza's batting for the first time. Votto finishes having had a good night. Doubled and scored in the first. He had that 2-run home run in the 6th. He was robbed of a hit with a ball that he hit in the second inning. A diving play by Keston Hira. 0-1 on Peraza, the pitch. And he swings and lines one over Saladino at short. That's in the left center field, and it will score 2. Iglesias is in. Right behind him, Lavarnway. And it's a 2-run single for Jose Peraza. It's now 14-5 in this Reds 3-run 7th. And Iglesias came running across home with his hand straight up into the air. As if to say, I'm not interfering. Now, Eugenio Suarez takes a strike over the inside corner. 0-1 on Suarez. He is batting for the 5th time. Hit by pitch in the 6th. He's also homered and singled the pitch. And he takes low, and the count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-hander against right-hander. Well, the Reds, we talked about it earlier, they have hit well since the All-Star break, and they have continued that today. 16 hits to go with the 14 runs. Josh Van Meter's in the on-deck circle. The pitch fouled back by Suarez. It's a ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. And Suarez sends a deep drive, left center field. Hit well, and it's high off the wall. Here comes Peraza to third. He'll be held there. Suarez into second, standing, and had to step around the tag on that throw back in. The Brewers may want to take a look at that. I think Suarez maybe thought he would have an easy double with that ball hitting well off the wall in left center field. And that throw went into second. It became a very close play with Braun throwing that right on target to Keston here at second base. And I think fortunately for the Reds, Suarez stepping around the tag, going in standing, which was a risky play, but it's the 17th double of the year for Suarez.
That's scary, too, when going into a base like that and trying to avoid a tag without sliding. There's so many things that could happen with straining something, pulling something, whatever it may be.
Now Josh Van Meter will hit for the pitcher. Second and third, 2 outs. The pitch to Van Meter is up and away, ball 1. Reds swinging the sticks today. 12 hits last night. 17 hits so far tonight. And Sal Romano is up and throwing the Reds bullpen. Here's the 1-0. And Van Meter looks to strike over the outside corner at the knees. It's 1-1. Van Meter's had some success off the Reds bench pinch hitting. It's 5 for 15.
It's a great way to make a career, being able to come off the bench and hit.
Fouls this back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm sure he would like to be an everyday player.
Without question.
I'm just saying that's a nice gig to have, a lefty off the bench.
But he's done a nice job when he's been up here. He has really done everything that's been asked of him. 236 overall. There's the 1-2 pitch. And Van Meter takes down and in. It's a 2 ball, 2 strike count. And seems like the more he gets in there, the more comfortable he gets and the better he plays. Since he was recalled, in his 4 games, he is 3 for 7. That's a 429 clip. A couple of those he started in left field. The pitch missed. And now Van Meter's run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Second and third, 2 outs. Reds have scored 3 in the 7th inning. The payoff. And Van Meter hits it high into the air. Shallow right field. Keston here is out. The second baseman calling for it, and he makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. The Reds get 3 more.
Reds scored 3 more in the top of the 7th to make it a 14-5 lead, and Sal Romano is a new pitcher on the mound. This is his first appearance since being recalled from AAA Louisville. This month has been spectacular for him. 17 innings pitched, 3 earned runs in 4 games, and 3 of those were starts.
And the first pitch misses high for ball 1 to Christian Yelich. Welcome back to the big leagues. Here's Christian Yelich. First 2 pitches to a miss. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Reds are up 14-5. Home half of the 7th inning at Miller Park, and Romano to the plate. Yelich fouls it back. 2 balls and a strike. Romano was really pitching well when he was moved back to the rotation for AAA Louisville. In fact, in his last 3 starts, a 0.69 ERA, striking out 20 against just 3 walks. That spanned 13 innings. Swing and a miss. And it's a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Christian Yelich. He had worked some things out, made some adjustments, and he was throwing the ball really well before he came up to join the Reds. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Yelich takes down and in. Hopefully he can continue that success up here. Chance to eat up some innings for this Reds bullpen right now. Romano nods the sign. Right-hander, a big breath, and Twiston deals the payoff. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
He said, Christian who?
No problem. Bring him. That'll bring up Yasmani Grandal. Well, it'll actually bring up the pitcher spot with Grandal out of the game, and it'll be a pinch hitter, Orlando Arcia. Arcia got the start at short last night, went 0 for 4, including a strikeout. He takes ball 1. Arcia stands in, hitting .226 this year. This is just his second pinch hit at bat. He's 0 for 1. He takes strike 1. The count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Base is empty, 1 out. 14-5. Reds up big on the Brewers. Romano home with a 1-1. And there's strike 2. The outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes on Arcia. Good to see the Reds swinging the bats the way they have been since the break, and hope that pitching staff will get back on track like it was throughout most of the first half. The pitch down and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Starting pitching still been pretty strong. Tanner Roark today, 5 innings, couple of runs, 6 hits, walk and 5 strikeouts. The 2-2 pitch, and Arcia hits it on 1 hop to the second baseman. Scooter Gennett gloves and throws in time. Arcia is out, 2 gone in the 7th. Robert Stevenson worked 1 inning, gave up a hit, 3 runs, all of them unearned. He walked 1 and struck out 2. He did give up a home run, and that home run was with 2 men aboard. Romano in this game as part of a double switch. Josh Van Meter stayed in. He becomes the Reds' 4th left fielder this game. The pitch is a strike to Mike Moustakas, and moving from left to third, Jose Peraza.
And last night, there was 4 left fielders as well as 4 right fielders.
How about that?
In case anybody's scoring at home.
But he was all over the place. Here's the 0-1. And Moustakas sends a fly ball well hit to right, backing up Irvin on the warning track. He will.
2 innings, allows 6 hits and 5 earned runs. Walked 2, struck out 1, and also hit a batter. So now they follow Smith with Jay Jackson. He'll be getting Phillip Irvin, Scooter Gennett, and Jose Iglesias here in the top of the 8th inning, and other changes made. Arcia stays in the game to play shortstop. And Saladino moves from short to third. Moustakas out of the lineup. So here's Irvin. And here's a pitch from right-hander Jay Jackson. And it's a ball. The 1-0 pitch. There's the call strike. A big night offensively for the Redlegs here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Way outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Home runs in the first inning by Suarez and by Winker. Another home run by Joey Votto in the 6th inning. And all manner of other hits. This young man here with a 3-run pinch hit triple. And now a pitch away from getting a walk to begin the inning as the count goes to 3-1. Reds have scored off of all the pitchers that the Brewers have run out there. 7 runs off Davies, 2 off of Claudio, 5 off of Smith. Verdict still out on Jay Jackson. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Bobby Stevenson works an inning, gives up a hit, 3 runs, unearned. He walked a batter and struck out a batter. Payoff pitch coming. And he walked him. That'll bring up Scooter Gennett, who's looking for his 3rd hit. He has swung the bat tonight like the Scooter Gennett that we've seen the last couple of years, and then, of course, struck down by that severe groin injury in spring training and missed over half the year. His return offensively has been a tough one. Here he is with a runner at first base. The Reds holding a 9-run lead. And the pitch, and Gennett takes a strike. Cardinals have beaten the Pirates by a run. The Cubs are losing in San Francisco to the hottest team on the planet. 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants rallied to win that game last night. They go 1 over the 500 mark, and they are leading 4-2 tonight at the end of 4 innings of play out in San Francisco.
Gosh, it's going to be so interesting what they do.
It's unbelievable. The turnaround that club has had, there was no reason for anybody to expect what they did, but they started early. Here's a fly ball hit into center, and it's grabbed by Kane, 1 out. Of course, the position that they put themselves in is that the only way they can make the postseason is as a wild card team. I mean, the LA Dodgers are going to win that division. But that's immaterial. In Bruce Bochy's last year as a manager of the Giants, for that team to turn around like it has, if they win tonight, they will have won 18 of their last 20 games.
Amazing.
That is incredible. Here's Jose Iglesias with 1 out and a runner at first, and the pitch is a strike.
And the thing with their roster, every contending team in Major League Baseball have been looking at them for one, Madison Bumgarner, but they have 4 really good relievers in their bullpen that a lot of teams need.
Right. Will Smith, of course, is their closer. He has been probably more talked about than anybody. That pitch is taken for a ball, 1-1. And they're really caught between a rock and a hard place because they don't know. I heard a very good comment that they are not good enough to win the World Series, and I agree with that 100%. They're not.
Right.
Why are you going to lose your mind over adding players at the trade deadline? There's a ground ball foul to help you get to at least 1 game. And that 1 game would be the play-in game. If you win that, now you have the unenviable task of facing the Dodgers in the next round. If you lose that game, your season's over. And you've traded away a lot of prospects for the benefit of getting you 1 game if you can become the wild card team.
And not even guaranteeing that Bumgarner would throw that wild card game.
That's correct. Foul ball. I personally, as far as the long range well-being of your franchise, I would say, you know what, I can't do it.
Yeah, as much as I was talking yesterday, letting Bochy go out a winner, you're right. This is an opportunity to get a lot of good prospects back.
You're not kidding.
To rebuild up that minor league system.
Yep. Runner at first, 1 out. Jay Jackson delivers, and it's swung on and hit in the air. Kane will move toward left center and gather it in. 2 out.
Not that the front office with the Giants are wanting them to lose the next week, but secretly they're probably wanting them to lose next week.
That's probably accurate.
You know, it's a tough call. If they lose a bunch of games in a row, they easily can tell the fans, well, we're out of it now.
Yep. Here is Ryan Lavarnway, has had a couple of hits tonight. He doubled back in the first, 2 strikeouts later. He singled in a run in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Fans at Kroger, it's easy to place your order online and pick up at the store. Try it tomorrow at Kroger.com. (14-5) Reds going to win for the second game in a row here in Milwaukee. That one is fouled out of play, and then we'll try to sweep the series behind the pitching of Lucas Sims in the 2:10 beginning tomorrow. Barnway settles back in. Jackson gave up a base on balls to Irvin to begin the inning, but has gotten back-to-back flyouts. And now throws a strike 2 pitch. Off the plate, a ball. A win tonight would give the Reds the edge in this season's series. They would be 8-7. They played very well against the Cubs. They played very well against this team. They had been playing well against the Cardinals. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's a bouncing ball deep at third. There's a pick, and the long throw across is in time, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Oh, bottom of the 8th. Ryan Braun will stand in. He's 0 for 2. Reached on catcher's interference and scored in the 6th inning. Second inning of work for Sal Romano. And the big right-hander delivers the first pitch ball too low. Fastball over the plate, but low. He struck him out, he grounded him out, and he flied him out. And pitching a 1-2-3-7. Swing and a miss. Taking a final look at our Cincinnati Bell, you know what.
I was so not confident, I forgot about that.
Which member of the Reds Hall of Fame participated in the Seattle Pilots spring training camp prior to the Pilots' inaugural season in 1969? Was it A, Leo Cardenas, B, Gordy Coleman, or C, Jim O'Toole? Call strike. You said Leo Cardenas.
No, B, Gordy Coleman.
Oh, you said B, Gordy Coleman.
Yes.
Are you going to stay with that?
I don't know. Was that a hint that I should go to Cardenas?
You take it any way you want to. Go ahead. You want to take that as a hint? You go ahead and do it. Ground ball is short. And Braun's gone.
I'm going to say B. I'm going to stick with B. Gordy.
That's your final answer.
Final answer.
See, I think it's Leo Cardenas.
Oh, no.
But I don't know that.
Oh.
I've just got a gut feeling. And it's neither one of them. It's Jim O'Toole. Here's Eric Thames. Inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame in 1970, Jim O'Toole was invited to the Seattle Pilots spring training camp but did not make the team, and he retired shortly thereafter.
Wow. Well, there goes my streak.
Yeah, well, there's one game and see ya. There's a swing and a miss. But no, you got to miss 2 in a row, so you get another shot tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right.
0-2 the count on Thames, who has gone 0 for 1, has been hit by a pitch, has also walked. And there's strike 3 call. Thames is hungry. He wants to go home. And there are 2 out in the inning. And here's Keston Hiura.
Well, Sal Romano might be hungry and wants to go home, too, because he is absolutely peppering this strike zone.
Yep.
Love it.
Hiura comes to the plate, and another strikeout gives him the golden sombrero. He has punched out 3 times tonight. Ball to him. Every time I hear the name Jim O'Toole, it puts a smile on my face because he was just a great, great guy. A Chicago native who had great success back in the 60s as a Reds pitcher, was a part of that 1961 National League Championship team, made his home, raised his family in Cincinnati, and was very, very visible all throughout the years, long after he retired. Sadly, Jim passed away some time back, and just a great family man and a real great citizen of the city of Cincinnati. And we had the occasion of spending a lot of time around Jim at various and sundry functions over the years. 3-1 pitch, line drive, and that's a hit. Scooter went airborne but could not come up with it, so Hira avoids the golden sombrero and pokes a 2-out single off Sal Romano. Tyler Saladino steps in. When you come see the Reds, be sure you've downloaded Ballpark. It's the official Great American Ballpark app. Check in at the game to unlock special offers, exclusive content, and seat upgrades. Download Ballpark for free and play baseball bingo presented by Dynegy. Call strike. Tanner Roark will win it. Zach Davies will lose it. The pitch. Just high a ball. So the Reds have scored 20 runs, and they've had 39 hits so far in the first 2 games here. I'd say their offense has been on target through games 1 and 2. A ball.
Fighting at the bat rack.
Yep. They'll be asked to do it one more time tomorrow. Two balls and 1 strike, the count on Saladino. And the pitch to him, and that's a half-swing foul ball. It's kind of interesting. We mentioned the back-to-back or grand slams in back-to-back games, Sunday in Arizona, last night against the Reds. The last time that was done in Major League Baseball was 2010. Jorge Posada, the New York Yankee catcher, did it. And Saladino becomes the second player in Milwaukee history to do it. Fastball up. The previous Brewers player to do it was Rob Deere in 1987. Rob Deere, known for incredible powers, incredibly high strikeout totals. And that young man could hit the ball a long, long way.
He'd fit perfectly in this
Yes,
day and age.
he sure would. Check swing, and that's ball 4. So back-to-back base runners after the first 2 batters were retired. They've got him at first and second. And here's Manny Pena, who back in the 6th inning hit a 3-run pinch hit home run off Bobby Stevenson.
First pitch he saw.
Yep. Right-hander against right-hand batter. 2 on, 2 out. Fastball missing. See, Romano has been starting of late and has really helped to turn his season around to the point where the Reds wasted no time bringing him up here a couple of days ago. There's a foul ball. It's a ball of strike on Pena. Checking Rob Deere out.
I'm looking for him.
He's in there.
I mean, I guess I could have looked on my phone instead of the
That's way too easy, Danny.
the media guide.
Way too easy.
And is that what you're doing?
Ain't it?
Oh.
Long look in by Sal Romano. Now the stretch, and now the pitch. Boy, that looked like a good-looking pitch, and it's a ball. Rob Deere had years of 33, 28, 23, 26, 27, 25, 32, 21, and 14 years. They're the long ball totals that he posted in his big league career. And now it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count, and Sal Romano having some problems now. If you're wondering about strikeouts, run these bad boys by you. He punched out one year 186 times, another year 175, 169. 3-1 pitch. Call strike.
Well, that's nothing compared to these days.
Not today.
Guys have that by the end of the first half.
Yep. He had a lifetime batting average over an 11-year big league career of .220.
And how many career homers did you say?
Career home runs, he hit 230 over 11 years. Fly ball lifted along the right field line. That's going to drop. 1 run scores, and that's all they'll get. A bloop single along the right field line drives a run in. Hura. Saladino goes to third. He stopped there. And Pena stops at first with a flare. He's driven in 4 runs tonight. And it's now a 14-6 game, and Derek Johnson on his way out to the mound. It's almost unbelievable how this inning has turned around for Sal Romano. It looked like he was going to retire 6 straight over 2 innings, especially so after he struck out Eric Thames. But then here a single, Saladino walks, and Pena drives a run in with a base hit.
Well, his stuff is still good. He's still throwing with good velocity, but he's just missing the edge off the plate. Gibson probably could have called a couple of those, but you can't go that much deeper into the count. You got to pound the strike zone as he was doing the first 5 batters.
He'll get Lorenzo Cain as we go back to the top.
How about Gorman Thomas? He's another that played here.
There's another one.
With home run power and strikeout probability.
Both of those guys played back in the 80s, and they were a part of the team known as Harvey's Wallbangers.
Yeah.
Harvey Keene was a manager, a former great player with the Tigers. First pitch in for a strike to Cain. And Rob Deere and those guys, they got it done. Robin Yount was on that ball club. Paul Molitor was on that team. They had great talent up here. Runner at first goes. That pitch is driven toward the alley in right center and caught on the run by Phillip Ervin to end the inning.
Wake up the right way, the Mike McConnell way. Mike McConnell, tomorrow morning, beginning at 5 on 700 WLW.
Try this for the 3rd time. We have reached a 9th inning. The Reds have a 14-6 lead, and Jay Jackson is back chucking them for the Brewers, and Gary Dietrich heading toward the plate to lead off inning number 9. Dietrich pinch hit in the 6th inning and stayed in the game. He's popped out. He's walked. I mean, people have left this yard like rats off a sinking ship. They have gotten the heck out of here. Now the pitch. Check swing and checked it in time. Ball 1.
Could you imagine if Christian Yelich hit last inning? There'd be even more of them gone by
There
now.
would have been. Jackson back to the plate to the left-handed batting Dietrich, and it's taken ball 2. Two-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Took a hack at a fastball and stirred the air up around home plate. Jay Jackson working from the stretch, pitching to Dietrich, and that's ball 3. Cubs like the Reds have an off. The Brewers rather like the Reds have an off day on Thursday, and then they stay home. They've got the Chicago Cubs coming in here over the weekend. Talk about a big 3-game get-together. Foul ball back. That will be it. without any question. I don't think you could dub it Custer's last stand or anything akin to that because there's still too much time left in the season. But it would be incumbent upon Milwaukee to figure out a way to hang some losses on that Cubs ball club when they come in here on Friday night.
And the majority of these fans here will be Cubs fans, I'm sure.
Well, there'd be a boatload of them coming in here from Chicago. Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout. This young man has got to work on how to hit off-speed and breaking balls. That doesn't put him in unique company. There are a lot of guys in this game at this level who simply can't do it. But Dietrich has had one home run since the 1st of June. 18 the first 2 months and 1 since June 1st. And all he has seen is a steady diet of breaking balls, and they have simply worn him down. Here's Nick Senzel with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Senzel trying to get on base for the 3rd time. On the outside corner, strike 2. 33,512 turnout for tonight's Titanic struggle. 33,512. Quickly, 2 strikes and nothing to count on Senzel. Jose Peraza waiting on deck. The pause and the pitch. That's a ball away. .275 on the year. He has been some kind of solid player since this kid came up from the minor leagues earlier this season. Strike 3 call. Jose Peraza gave this ball club a big pick-me-up in the 7th after they called runner's interference on Derek Dietrich that resulted in the officials calling a double play on the ball that Nick Senzel hit. But then with 2 down and runners at 2nd and 3rd, Peraza drove a base hit into left center to knock both runners in. Strike 1 call.
Still, that interference call at second base, that drives me crazy.
Why does that drive you crazy?
He didn't even touch him.
I know.
What? I mean, what is this going to turn into, that you're not allowed to slide anymore?
Oh, absolutely. You got to realize this is not the same game you played, pal. That pitch is off the plate for a ball.
It's just amazing. I understand that MLB wants to have safety out there, keep guys healthy, but come on, there was no contact. It wasn't even close to being any contact.
No.
And he slid kind of over the bag.
2 out, bases empty, 1-1 pitch, and ball 2 is low. Different game today. Speaking of that, cheer on the Reds when they take on the Rockies Friday night. Stick around after the game and enjoy a spectacular fireworks show and concert featuring Zed, one of Tommy Thrall's favorite groups, all presented by the Ohio Lottery. For tickets, visit Reds.com/150. Line drive down the left field line, but a foul ball.
Zed.
Z-E-D-D.
Yeah.
Zed.
That's right up his alley.
Big time. Had Tommy Thrall been around back in the day, he would have been a follower of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. He'd have been a deadhead now. He'd be traveling around with Billy Walton. They'd had a big time.
From Grateful Dead to Zed.
That's it. Dead to Zed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peraza waiting on the right-hander, Jay Jackson. Fouled out of play behind the first base dugout. In the bottom of the ninth, Yelich, Arcia, and Jackson are the batters due up. Probably Jesus Aguilar will be the pinch hitter for the pitcher, Jackson. Popped up, and that'll drop behind the dugout. $14 runs, 17 hits, 2 errors for the Redlegs. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Brewers. Peraza hanging around, a rather protracted 2-out 9th inning at bat. A pitch. Ball 3.
Jay Jackson may be the slowest pitcher in between pitches in Major League Baseball.
Well, I don't know about that now. I mean, when you are up there hitting off you, Darvish, that's
true.
about as slow as it gets.
True.
But this guy is really slow. Strikeout swinging. He strikes out the side. We go to the home ninth. Milwaukee coming to bat here in the bottom of the ninth. Christian Yelich has had 1 hit, and that hit drove in a run. He's 1 for 3, 1 for 4, and has struck out twice. And he's first up here against right-hander Sal Romano, who, if he finishes, will pick up a save. Got some Ohio State fans here tonight. Right in the heart of the Wisconsin Badger country. Here's a pitch, and a drive to left, down the line, and out of play. Foul ball.
And it will be Sal Romano's first career save.
How about that? Well, nice way to get back to the big leagues. He was thrilled enough to be in that big league clubhouse last night. Check swing foul on a sinking fastball that puts Yelich behind the 8 ball at 2 strikes. Back he comes to the left-handed batter and just missed, and not by much. In fairness to Romano, he has been right around the plate.
Yes.
Granted, he did walk Saladino, and that's not a good walk for a guy not even hitting 200, even though he's had grand slam home runs in each of the last 2 games. But there have been pitches right around the plate. That one high enough to draw rain on the infield. And Dietrich comes all the way down from first base to make the catch. 1 out. That'll bring up Orlando Arcia.
Yeah, that walk to Saladino that he had at least 2 pitches that were borderline that Greg Gibson could have called. He was calling them earlier in the game.
Yep.
But still, you got to find a way to pitch to that 130 hitter and not give him a free base. Other than that, he's been very good.
Yes, he is. Here's Arcia 0 for 1. Takes a strike. What this game did tonight, and it's a credit to the offense, giving nights off to people like Amir Garrett, Raisel Iglesias, call strike. Michael Lorenzen and Wandy Peralta. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Iglesias could not quite get to it. Arcia takes a big wide turn, and now, as expected, Jesus Aguilar will come to the plate and bat for the pitcher, Jay Jackson. third hit off of Romano. Arcia starter last night. Off the bench tonight, batting .230 with 8 home runs. Fastball away, ball 1. Craig Counsell pondering the plight of this ball club at this moment. They have pretty much over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks been chasing the Cubs. That pitch is a strike. The club that has really been hot have been lately the St. Louis Cardinals. And it is becoming more and more a virtual logjam among 3 teams near or at the top in the NL Central. 2 balls and 1 strike. Aguilar back in the box. Red's not concerned right now about Arcia over at first base. Dietrich playing behind him. And now it's 3 balls and 1 strike. And the early return on Romano is, even though he's missing close pitches, he's still missing. And that was a big part of his problem last year, pitching behind the count. Ground ball third. Give it up to second. Turn it over to first. And this one belongs to the Reds. The end of a long night of baseball here in Milwaukee.